class, I'm still 20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you hear the I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck this cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the free market's a scam. Everything's been changing since last generation was born, and they won't try to take and change it. A two-edged sword. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's good.
Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Hey! The man, Dawnseeker, and Code and Assembly all here from the get-go. Well, that's a nice change. I know, right? Isn't it fun? I actually got a little bit of work on the game demo I'm working on at the moment. It's a little spell mashing system. And I've been working on both like the spellcasting and the enemy movement. I have the enemy mesh in there, but I did something wrong when I put the goblin in. If I touch the goblin, I still bounce back, so that was working. Also, new galaxy, I guess. Say goodbye to my sleep. Say hello to stream. Let's go! Yeah. Back off. Back off. Anyway, it's been kind of fun. Mostly because I'm doing it a little bit different. I've already had a sort of modular system in place, but for this one, I'm actually doing it so I have like a fire particle, and now I have a directional shot object essentially, and that goes into the spellcasting object, which then creates a directional shot with the oh yeah, the boot club video is doing well. I've noticed that. Actually, I saw a comment that I actually got me thinking when I was going in the comment section. Do you have a Vietnam era machete? You wait, what? Why? Also, what makes a machete Vietnam era? Like specifically, like a machete is literally just sharp, flat blade on top of somewhat flat handle, right? I don't really see how you could stylize that too much. I mean, maybe you could do like the type of handle, I guess. But no, the Wukong video was doing well. One of the comments I saw was asking me if Arc Survival Evolved would count as a Souls-like, based on my criteria, because it's also a decrepit world, where things are kind of stuck in a cycle of fall and decay, where you're trying to just picking through the ruins like a bottom feeder, and you do lose all your stuff when you die, and it does kind of have a bleak and depressing tone a bit, even if you build houses and ride robot dinosaurs. Is this your troops during Vietnam role? Maybe it's an old machete. One made in that year? Maybe it's an old machete made in that year. Oh, look, it's the... Oh, I probably should be standing in water when I go fight that thing. Just in case. Aw, the bunnies are adorable. What the... Is that a magic monkey? That monkey is magic. Well, let's kill them all while they're distracted. I hit the magic monkey. I guess one made in that year, I guess? That would be like aging it, so it's like, you know, a medieval broadsword. A broadsword is pretty widely defined, I'd say. But a medieval one would be one specifically, made during the medieval era, or in that style. I don't know, I still feel like there's a good style for, like, a medieval era broadsword versus, like, a, what would it be, like, Byzantine era broadsword, I guess, or Roman broadsword. Like a Roman gladius, you know, is a very different sword than a medieval broadsword. I really need to contact Grant when I'm going to talk about Roman knife types. Ugh. I have a friend who's really into both Rome and also collects bladed weaponry, so probably should ask him, maybe. He might know. Though he does prefer Roman history. So, who knows? Maybe I should contact him in, like, a Discord, just, like, ask, hey, what would it, like, make a machete specifically tied to a different era? I mean, it's a good subject to know if you're trying to make, like, a historically accurate game or something like that, or any kind of piece of media, really. To know, like, what the differences are in the settings and in the items. He literally gave you the answer. Oh, it was issued to troops in World War... Yeah, I know, but my point wasn't that, my point wasn't that it was just, like, one that was given to the troops in that era. I'm, like, talking about, like... I guess that's fair. So it's just a machete that's given to troops in that era. That's fair. That basically defines it pretty well. I'll try to cover for the fact that I kept going afterwards. Oh, look, it's the elephant. Man. Also, what's with the fan palm tree? I feel like this is I feel like this is like just kind of funny. I love how they just made them palm fans. They're not even good ones either. It was wartime issued. Okay. That's cool. Is it like still in good shape? Like no rush or anything? That's TDL loves overanalyzing everything. I mean, I love over-talking everything. I'm not sure that was analysis as much as it was talking. I'm not sure I want to claim that as analysis. Over-conversationalizing everything, maybe? Now I'm doing it again. Oh, it's in really good shape considering these. Over-talking indeed. Alright, let's not fall off these stupid roofs anymore. It's in really good shape considering the age. That's cool. Always nice to have a piece of history. Ah, man. You know, it's weird. When it comes to old tech, I'm kind of like... I've never really collected old tech, for example, but like, if I had the opportunity to just, you know, have some really old keyboard or something like that, I'd probably have it. Oh, cool, I have a chance to take selfies now. I guess that's what that new camera area did. Emotes. That's cool. Socially occur dragon overall. Would it be an understatement of the millennia? But for me, it's like old books and stuff. Oh shoot! I didn't notice I was wearing a bomb for a hat. It's like that scene in a movie where some guy actually doesn't realize he's holding a landmine or something like that. That was me just now with the bomb hat. Oh man. I have an old trackball mouse I got from Goodwill. Damn. You know, those things are kind of cool, but they're not the best for actually, like, using. I've used a trackball before. My dad's old work. He's the attorney, and so we'd had to go into the office, me and my brother. We kind of just sit there in the office. There was a TV, but it was, like, early 2000s, so when he had us there in the... Oh my god, so I had the bomb hat again, I didn't notice. In the mornings, we kind of just, you know, didn't have anything on TV because it was all early cakes program, especially even during the summer. So we would actually go around the office and look at stuff, and so I got to see like a lot of old office equipment from like, you know, late 90s, early 2000s stuff. Yeah, ball mouses are actually decent for like just browsing the web. I get why they were replaced with regular mice, but if you have less room to actually move your hand around, or less like mouse pad space specifically, the ball mouse can be really good for conserving that space. So we actually saw a few of them in office. They were higher end stuff at the time, but yeah, it can still be serviceable. Yeah, it is. Like 99% of the stuff, it's great. Military surplus stores are also cool, I imagine. Yeah. I haven't really gone to any military surplus stores personally. I've gone to Goodwill and a few thrift stores. Recently, thrift stores have started getting like expensive though. Like they actually have like higher prices now. And Goodwill, actually, one of the reason I don't go to Goodwill anymore is because a lot of the more like easily identifiable stuff they sell online now. Like they used to have a bunch of just loose tech products in a case that you could look at, including like video games and stuff. But now they just sell it online. There's like a website apparently, and there's less and less of that stuff being sold in actual Goodwill stores, which is unfortunate. I think I enjoyed thrift shopping. One of the only reasons I would get up early in the mornings when I was a kid, actually, was to go to, like, garage sales and stuff with my mom. Oh, I guess that's how he got the machete from a hobby shop that was throwing stuff out. Option 2, since he is military, he might have gotten it from a friend. Imagine playing CSGO with such a mouse and destroying the global elite players. Oh, wait, there's no ranks anymore. I mean, you probably wouldn't destroy people with elites, because, like I said, it's not best for pinpoint precision. Trackballs, well, let me rephrase that. It's not best for quick pinpoint precision. A trackball can be somewhat precise when you're going slow, but if you need quick, fast, and accurate motions, it's not great for that. I've used a few of them, actually, so I would consider myself at least somewhat experienced with the trackball mouse. Now, if you can do it, if you could destroy people in like, I know the ranked are not there anymore, but in, like, you know, matches, yeah, that would definitely be a skill. Show off how much better you are. Alright. You know, I know that Aladdin is popular because genie wishes are inherently cool, but, like, why is the rest of 1001 Arabian Nights not more popular? I mean, I haven't read it. I just realized that recently. It's like, I've never read 1001 Arabian Nights. I've heard stories about it, but I don't think I've ever actually read it. I've never actually gotten a translation of the stories and actually read it, you know? Which I've been making a point to do with a lot of older stuff. I really need to do that. Because apparently it's more than just Aladdin. There's a lot more stuff in there. And I've seen references to a lot of that stuff before. Oh, we gotta rub it back and forth. We unleash the genie. Again, I haven't read it. I don't know. I know there's the Aladdin story. Where, you know, kid finds a genie lamp. Disney remade that one. I am aware there's, oh god, what was it? I want to say I've heard one of the other stories, but I can't remember off the top of my head, because the Aladdin story is the only one that's actually stuck in my memory. What was one of the other ones? I know I've heard one of the other stories. Sinbad? Was Sinbad? No, not Sinbad. I might have watched the anime that was based on it. Again, it's one of those things I'm just kind of realizing as I'm in this level. It's a hole in my critical lexicon. Because I'm aware of a lot of, like, side stories and side tangents from Black Myth Wukong. Because I've, you know, not necessarily read the entirety of Journey to the West, but I've read snippets of it. And I've gone back, even after, like, watching short bits of the stories and, like, read parts of it, like the laser beam part, or when he's being hunted by the gods. Or even, like, stuff about Red Boy. Getting some more details on that. But I don't know a ton about 1001 Arabian Nights, aside from the fact that Shahrazad is telling these stories to a... Oh yeah, that's the other part I know. The other part I know is that the whole premise is that Shahrazad is being wed to a man who kills his wives after, like, one night. And so she's telling him a story that never really ends for 1,000 nights, so he doesn't kill her. And each night she leaves him hanging with some kind of cliffhanger or some tease that there's more and more to the story so that she won't be killed. Alrighty. Oh, it's funny. I have this machete sitting on my shelf for years. I just thought it was cool to have a machete. But I never looked past that and got curious. Why didn't you just have a machete? Wait, I thought you, like, got this for, like, a reason. I didn't think it was just, like, hanging around your house. How did you even end up with a machete then? Got curious and looked up the U.S. Clyde. It was etched into the base of the blade. Shahrazad. Evolution of Shaharimander. Shaharimander. Okay. Ah, right. This is the Bulldog rocket pack thing. Yeah. Is there any heavy focus on Dragon plot point book you could say self-contained story? Self-contained, ooh. I'm not sure how much, if you'd like, well, Win More Dragons is a good book. A little much, but a good book. Self-contained dragon books. That's actually weirdly difficult. A lot of my favorite dragon series are like series, you know? They're not like one-offs. I'm actually struggling to think of a one-off dragon book. I mean, there's Book of Dragons, actually. That could be a good one for you. It's just literally a bunch of short stories about dragons. Like, it's not a series or anything. It's a bunch of self-contained authors. I know about it because Naomi Novik did one of the stories. DJ, I'm talking about TDL. Brain empty, no thoughts. Assembly relatable. It's Shahrazad. 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 Sorry, my boy. I was late taking care and looking out for my ma. No problem, DJ. Hello. Hi, the Dragon's Library. I love how it highlighted your text on the YouTube part. Boom. Gong. Charizard. Is that a Pokemon reference? No, it's a 1001 Arabian Nights reference. Wow. For some reason, I was expecting the Dragon one-off to be hard to come by. It is. I told you, the only Dragon one-off I can come by that I can think of is the Book of Dragons. And that's not really a single Dragon one-off, it's a bunch of it. Charizard, is that a Pokemon reference? DJ gets it. Wait, what? Wait, were you trying to make it? You're boring? DJ gets it. Hey there, Nerd Dragon Assembly real. Oh, boo. Like I said, my dad gave it to me, and I just thought the machete was cool, so I put it on the top shelf of my room, and every once in a while, I sit down and give it a few swings. Okay. Oh, man. Yo, DJ. Oh my god, this genie is really going all out with, like, the dust storm tornado, isn't he? Just sitting up there, chilling. Hey, can you guys, like, beat it? No? Okay. Laser feet. Do not fail me now. Well, these cubes are not that hard, actually. Yes! I've been upping my Polish TTRPG history. Wait, Polish TTRPG? How are my little Pokebears doing? Oh, we're doing pretty well, I'd say. Actually, this is, I think, going to be the session this week where we're going to finish up, or my RPG session is probably going to finish up this week for this story, or this, like, arc, I guess. I'm not really sure what I guess this story arc, or this campaign, and then we can move on to, like, the next prefab, and then I can start making my own after this one, because I think after the next one I will have a good enough grasp to try and make my own fully original thing. Oh my god, this thing is annoying. Pokebear message was a joke. I'm allowed to answer ridiculous callouts. Oh shoot. Ow. I got squished. How do I feel about TTRPG? There are definitely some things I would have done differently. I would have probably tried to get, like, more stuff done. Actually, one thing I'm going to try and do during the 2 weeks is I want to try and, like, draw some, like, rough outline sketch art. And I've been trying to do that with the other stuff. I've been so caught up in every session that I haven't really been able to, like, get around to it. And I want to try and, like, fully do that here and get that out of the way. Unfortunately, the next one's a little bit more vague, and there are a lot more places you can go, and so I'm a little worried I won't have enough art pieces for it. But I'm going to try and think of, like, enough, like, rough sketches and not just have, like, clip art. Or at least have the art ready ahead of time. I feel like I've kind of been lighting it down with the visuals. I've also not been as prepared when it comes to, like, the timing. I kind of had to I started adding the timing stuff midway through, as opposed to all the way. Poland overrated. First, it needs to be on a rating scale to be anything rated. There's probably at least one rating scale of countries out there. Ow. Goddamn stupid lightning skulls. GD powers are cheating. Wish powers are cheating. Oh no. This man just, like, summoning stuff when you draw R4. R34. Never, never, never. And hopefully there will never be any Rule 34 of my character. I hope. Please, I'm desperate. I'm not gonna give you ideas, Nerd Dragon. Commission something online. Why did I say that? Why? No, no, don't commission anything online. Don't. Why not? My dragon is not thirsty. I am not thirsty. I am happy being dehydrated. Patience, DJ. Nerdo that was me, DJ, said this, not Nerd Dragon. It was you, Dio. You mean patience? Don't you freaking dare, Code Disassembly. You know the rule of the internet, nothing is sacred. Yes, I am aware. Alright, how do I... Oh, wait. I think I get it now. I was like, what? This is dodging has been going on for a while. It's like, oh, you're supposed to bounce it back to him. Okay. Oh! Ho mukate kure no. I am sacred. Dragons are not sacred. Excuse me. Objectively incorrect, actually. In multiple societies, dragons have been seen as sacred. You are objectively incorrect, DJ. God damn, this fight's gonna be annoying. There's like no hearts, and you have to start the whole thing over. He's basically as strong as some of the bosses I've been fighting for now. Not on the internet. I mean, not here, I guess. No. Come on, big boy. Let's go! Bounce your golden. That's why you don't throw gold at me. Alright. Bounce it back. I'm gonna watch Overflow for the plot. What's up with the audio? What do you mean? Is something wrong with the audio? Let me check. Oh. Is it not playing? Let me see here. How about now? Is it better? Oh. There we go, I think. Now it's good? Okay. Sorry, I had to review my settings again for, like, no reason. Tail Foundry done once about a video about how Dragon lost its edge and they not as ferocious as they used to be. Well... oh, I think I saw that video, actually. Yeah. Well, it's partially because dragons have been utilized in a lot more different roles now than they were traditionally used. I mean, they were traditionally, like, either pseudo-gods or, like, super powerful monsters in mythology. I mean... For example, Python, I know he's depicted as a snake, but it also has a lot of similarities with dragons. Or Ladon was supposed to be so powerful, gods, even demigods can fight them. They distracted them. You know, Apollo might kill Python, but Hercules has to distract Ladon. Then again, Hercules didn't really, like, kill a lot of monsters, weirdly enough. I mean, he killed the Nubian lion, don't get me wrong. Strangle that guy. Listen to baby snakes. Why on earth would I? Finally! Zappa is Jesus. Oh. Well, we gotta smash all the pots. What kind of adventurer would we be if we did not smash all the pots? Things in the religion or culture of dragons are seen as... Yeah, but like in a lot of Eastern cultures, dragons were seen as... You know, semi-divine, if not outright divine. Snakes are amazing, DDL. Assembly find snakes a bit too great. Yeah, his profile pic is a snake. I feel like there's not enough material to say they're not used to. Because how many productions featuring any dragon not being featured in the last... Wait, because how many productions featuring any dragon not being booked featured in the last 15 years? How to Train Your Dragon? That entire franchise? Like... I don't know what you want there. Shang-Chi had a dragon in it. I mean, it was a minor subplot, but still. Yeah, I mean, I have a shirt with that dragon. I like that one. Well, not really the dragon, I like its design, specifically. Peak English here. Damn, nerd dragons speak better English than TDL, no joke. That hurts. Also, that one Disney movie, that's not really that much. I'm not saying there's a ton. I think dragons are generally not used in live-action movies because they're expensive to animate. Dragons aren't central characters but show up in video games a lot. I mean, I just played about a dragon who, like, burned Nazis in World War II. What was that, a few months ago at this point? Nope. Is there a piano puzzle here? Oh god, I hope there's not a musical puzzle. Choo-choo. Burn you with my laser feet. DJ tries to insult you today. What else hurts me is watching your trash gameplay. Watching your trash gameplay. Well. Dragons are notoriously difficult to do in live action with so much 99% is pure CGI. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's difficult because they're such a complex creature when you actually boil it down. And they're also usually really large. And they're also really large, and as a result of being powerful in most media, they tend to be like a lot of additional things. You don't see them make a big creature. You need to make something that can fly, that means CGI flying effects, and maybe having an actor on it. You need it to be able to breathe fire. You make it be able to breathe fire. It has to maybe do magic. It has to be able to talk, so you've got to get a separate voice actor who can sync up. There's lip syncing there. Like, there's a lot, you know, of reasons why it's not necessarily something you see a lot. He said large. Dragons are mid, harass me. The only one I recall where it wasn't was Dragonheart. I'm trying to think, are there any other ones that did practical effect dragons? I mean, there have to have been some older movies that did it. I'd imagine anything that was like pre-80s. But I can't sort of say for sure if anything else did it. Really don't ask much for dragons. One gaming dragon protagonist, one cartoon. Again, last year we got a gaming protagonist. Not a major game, but it was a small indie game. But yeah, a dragon burnt people to death in World War II because they invaded his island and woke him up from his nap. Yes, that is a valid reason to kill Nazis. Look, I really don't ask for much. One cartoon. Not even one blue dragon. Just toon version, I'm asking. I mean, the Dragon Prince, if you really want something, Zim is a main character. He's been there since the end of season. He was in every season. He hatched in season 1, so. I would say he's the main character of that show. He's on, like, all the marketing. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and 935 is still after you. I do not get that reference. Oh. Yeah, it is really hard to find things, though, again, like I've said in the past, where dragons are, like, a protagonist. And most media where you see that, they're either a, like, not really an active part of the plot, or they're tied to a dragon rider, and most of the intimate drama is all about them. One of the things that actually really got me with the Inherent Cycle books, and one of the reasons I defend them so much, is Saphira is clearly her own character, and not just an accessory to Aragon. I think that's one of the things that sets it apart in a lot of ways, because, like, she's not just a dragon he's riding. She has her own character, and she has to do her own thing during, for example, in Book 3, when her and Aragon are separated. There's a whole thing with her operating separately for most of that book. And advising Nazuata, you know, working with them, dealing with the fact that she's away from Aragon for essentially the first time in her life. She has her own drama and stuff with being the last of her kind, and kind of wanting to fuck her teacher because Galadriel was believed to be the last dragon. Look, some of the plot points are questionable when you say it out like that, but it is, you know, he did tell her no, so it's not like a foreign... Oh god, what am I getting into? Oh. Galadriel did immediately go like, what the hell are you doing? So, you know, it's not one of those stories. Ooh, piggy bank. I love smashing the piggy bank. That was a difficult time for her. To be fair, yeah, it was. And then she finally runs into another dragon, and, you know, it's Thorn, who... we saw him in Murtagh, so he's clearly not exactly the friendliest guy in the world outside of Murtagh. He cares about Murtagh, but everyone else can probably just go burn. I actually seen Aragorn once. Aragon! Missed opportunity. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh. Man. Oh. No, I think Aragon was really good, although we haven't really had anything like... look, they have the Fourth Wing, I know. And its sequel. And it's another sequel that's just come out, and I need to get, start reading it. I think the book just came in, or is about... It's on its way, actually. I haven't gotten it in yet. I don't know. After the last book, where the love interest started turning evil... Wait, what are we talking about? Dragon media? I thought that's what we were discussing? Or dragons in media? I think Simply was saying Galadriel... wow, there are some very similar names, huh? What was it? Glared? Oh god, I forgot what the teaching dragon's name was again. Shoot. Giant golden dragon, who was actually a major character in his own right, and had to deal with his rider's death after the fact, which was kind of interesting watching him process his grief. But, no, there is a dragon series out right now. It's a young adult fiction book with all the warnings that entails. Remember, I'm not a full-time reader. Yeah, this one might get an adaptation. It got that, you know, brief popularity phase that a lot of things do, and I have a feeling that if this book isn't the last one, I think it's supposed to be a 5-part series, but I might be wrong about that. If it's not a trilogy and this isn't the last book, it might be popular enough to get, like, an adaptation. I can't say for certain, but it feels like the kind of things that I've gotten adaptation for. Granted, they would have to do a lot of dragon animating, and we know how they feel about that, so I'm not entirely sure it will. It has a lot of the same popularity and vibe, but dragons are still a massive commitment for any animation budget. Or CGI budget. The connection between Rider and Dragon is still unbelievably deep. Remember how admonished Aragon for trying to call him out, or sulking instead of doing anything? Yeah, he's like, I've literally lost half my soul. Fuck you. It's your job now. We did what we could. Now Ormus is dead. I'd like to sulk for 100 years. Thank you very much. And, you know, Aragon's like, yeah, I'd probably be like that if Saphira was dead and I had to survive. He didn't like it, but he understood. Because basically all dragon riders understand that. Although I will say the Fourth Wing did take it in an interesting direction a bit, but wow, are things weird. That book just got weird, I'm sorry. It has a vibe of, like, heavy romance angle to it. And don't get me wrong, Aragon had his crush on Arya from the very beginning. But it wasn't, like, the central focus in the way the romance subplot is in the Fourth Wing. Which is one of the reasons I'm not as enthused about it. It's still probably the best Dragon Boat to come out in a while. Imagine what, instead of getting Capsule Monsters, if we had a spin-off based off Toons with a cute blue eyes, four eyes white dragon. With cute four eyes white dragon, you mean blue eyes white dragon? I will admit, I would totally be okay with like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Cool Toon World thing. Man, Aragon really was down bad for Arya. Oh yeah, from like the moment... Actually, from the moment he started dreaming of her. Remember, he actually didn't see her in person first. He saw her, like, in his dreams beforehand. Oh, that was the whole thing. He had it bad for her. And the books were like, yep, so now I'm never allowed to come back to Allegasia, and she's gonna have to be here to rule the elves, because her mom's dead now. So we are literally, even though we finally decided maybe we actually be a good couple, we've also decided that we can never see each other again. Sorries. But, you know, Saphira and Firen are gonna be able to have their own kids, so that's good. You know, even though we have all these dragon eggs now. Oh, that ending. Like, don't get me wrong, I get the idea of taking him out of play, because it actually let the author do more stuff in the world. Because by the end of the book, Aragon was essentially as overpowered as you can get in that world, you know? There was no dealing with him. He knew the true name of magic, which essentially gave him a I win button against any magic user, which are the main threats in the series to any magic users, or the political intrigue. Take the hell out of me. This is boring bullshit. Human plots. Give me more dragons. That'd be my reaction most likely. Yeah, see, one of the things I've always wondered, or wished Christopher Paolini did, and I get maybe he just wasn't into doing this. He clearly likes making the whole, you know, complex fantasy world with lots of allegiances and plotting and scheming kind of thing. But one thing I always thought would be interesting is Aragon's quest to like rebuild the Dragon Riders headquarters over like a century or two. Like, you know, a drawn-out story. Nothing like the adventure you went on previously. But, like, sort of like a drawn-out, almost like, you know, update in a journal or something like that of him and Saphira rebuilding the Dragon Riders. Because they basically essentially went out into the wilds. You know, the place nobody from Allegasia has gone to in years. Did kind of feel like a cop-out when they revealed there were tons of dragon eggs left. Yeah, exactly. It did feel like a cop-out. But I can't say they didn't set it up. I mean, they set up the whole, you know, rock stone thing. He clearly had been planning to do this for a while with the dragon eggs and the Endurni, because the setup for Gobbletorx's power was in the very beginning, and the prophecy he got was in the very beginning, and he clearly already knew what these things were on Beauregard, because that all checks out from the first book. So he knew what he was doing. It's not like he just wrote this in at the last second. But I would have loved watching the Saphira, the elves, and the Endurni go out and try and, like, you know, rebuild the Dragon Riders headquarters, essentially, out in the wilds. Because he could encounter all sorts of new things nobody had seen before, maybe some of those sea serpent things that outclass dragons to make, you know, the threats a bit larger. Because, you know, magic still has limits, even with the true name of magic. That just lets you cop your way out of any ward or spell or oath. But it doesn't let you actually just do anything with magic. You still need to have the raw power, even if you had, like, a dozen dragons fueling his spells. So I would have loved to see Aragon actually go out and do the rebuilding. That would have been one of my things, personally. It would have been really cool watching him have to, like, grapple with things where he doesn't know everything, and his elves, the all-knowing elf companions, can't just explain to him exactly what's going on. They would have to operate again on rumors and subterfuge. Remember back when the Rozak were unknowing, like they weren't well known, and they were all mysterious, and now we kind of know a lot about them because Ormus had actually been like, oh yeah, the Dragon Riders encountered them a long time ago. Not sure, we thought we exterminated them all. Guess Galbatorix found some. It's like, that kind of took the mystery out of them, you know? I think there was an interesting character in the Inheritance series would be Girl Aragon, actually Curse. Ugh. Accidentally cursed into a girl. I mean, the magic system, that would be a really weird thing with the magic system, because, like, the way Aragon's magic system works, trying to do that many physical changes to a person is kind of difficult, and isn't the kind that lasts forever. It's not like Harry Potter magic. Oh, you're talking about the girl he actually cursed. Oh, well, he uncursed her. He used the word to uncurse her. I think. I know he reduced her curse, and I think he used the word to remove her curse afterwards. But it's crazy that I accidentally cursed a girl by making a mistake in grammar. Yeah, that was actually one of the moments I actually kind of liked the magic system. I actually was very impressed by the way Christopher Paolini did that. It's like, it's such a small change, and he clearly didn't mean the damage. Like, Ormus even told him, it's like, yeah, she's probably not going to be as bad off because you didn't do it intentionally. It wasn't an intentional mistake. You weren't trying to do this. But the thing is, the ancient language's whole job was to prevent you from doing anything unless you specifically said otherwise. So as a result, even though you didn't mean to cause her harm, you were still probably going to cause her some harm. Because that's what you literally said. She was to be a shield for others. Oh man, that whole thing was kind of nuts. Although that stopped really mattering is the thing. Later on in the series, it's one of the criticisms I have of the show. Later on in the series, the whole grammar thing just kind of fell by the wayside. Early on, Aragon had things like he didn't know a lot about the ancient language. So there was that whole thing where the twins tried to trick him into like saying the true name of Silver to conjure its true form or something like that. And they nearly got him to commit suicide with it. Like, he was kind of an idiot. I think it's one of the reasons I kind of liked Murtaugh, too, because he was kind of also inexperienced, and to him, finding a magic book was impressive. You had things where he made mistakes with, on Discord. Oh, am I missing on the Discord chat? Let's see. Blue Eyes, oh, Four Eyes Bitch Nerd Dragon. Very funny, Dawnseeker, not Dawnseeker, Nerdo Dragon. Very funny, Nerdo Dragon, very funny. Also, Polish TRPG. That image is horrifying, Assembly. I found her an interesting character because of the uniqueness of the curse. Yeah, she felt an overwhelming urge to help people and could feel when they were in danger. And, like, after she got it kind of cured, she almost didn't, like, once she no longer felt the urge to help people, she was like, you know what, I don't even mind it anymore. Because it's not really a curse at that point, it's her being able to tell when people are harmed. If she's just numb to the pain, yeah, it's driving her a little insane, but hey, cool power. The thing about the ancient language is they basically just put a basic set of rules on a very loose magic system when you think about it. The ancients essentially turned a soft magic system into a hard magic system, which I find hilarious. Aragon doesn't have a hard magic system, it has a soft magic system, and in universe, the soft magic system was so soft that people were actually setting people they loved on fire. Four Eyes Blue Dragon looks badass. You're the ones who named him like that. Four Eyes Bitch and Her Dragon? No! The card you posted has bitch. I'm not crazy. Ah! Galbatorix was even extremely wary of her. Yeah, because she knew if she had ever gotten close to him, like within range, a legitimate way to take him out was just to know what he was suffering. Because Galbatorix was clever enough in his madness to actually be somewhat aware that he was insane. He was somewhat aware of his madness and, like, I want to say almost like a Deadpool kind of style without the meta. And he knew she would probably be able to sniff him out in a split second. She was just, I forget her name, I think it was like Ava or something like that. Whatever it was, she was a really cool thing, and I loved how that one little blessing that Aragon gave out had such an impact on the series as a whole. Like, Nazuata would have freaking died. So Nazuata would have most certainly been murdered by the Black Hand, and we might not have even found out the Black Hand existed if it hadn't been for Aragon cursing a girl. Think about that. The hero's only won because the hero accidentally cursed a child to essentially years of misery and suffering. Like, you would have fallen to pieces if Ava so spoke a word to him. Yeah, basically. Everybody does. There's literally no one who's immune to her power. That's what's terrifying. The only reason she worked with them was because A, she kind of had a distaste for Galbatorix because a lot of his people were causing the pain that she was experiencing, and that Saphira, who she actually liked, was probably one of the only people she legitimately liked aside from Angela, blessed her with the brow of silver. I have cursed several children. If Saphira hadn't given her that weird silver forehead blessing that looks like the Argotlam sigil, she would have probably have tried to kill Aragon, let's be honest. I have cursed several children, the man. I mean, have you magically cursed them, or have you just, like, you know, cursed them? Ow. Why am I dying so much to electricity all of a sudden? I'd like to not die via lightning. Alright, so we come up here. A little bit of both. Oh. Glasses sure can be badass. Group. Laser feet. Okay, this part is annoying. Alright, we dealt with them. Now jump and spin. Ah! God damn it. The timing is really annoying. These challenge levels are going to be, like, really difficult. But no, Aragon had a lot of interesting stuff in it. Personally, Angela is one of those characters where it's like, she's a Grey Folk, right? Like, she has to be a Grey Folk. She's over 100 years old. She's sure as hell not human. Whatever she is, she's not human. She was actually one of my favorite characters when I was reading the book growing up. Not gonna lie, I loved her and Solomon. They were both, the Werecat and her were both great characters. I freaking loved them. Alright. And now, pop it off. Oh, what do we got here? Whoa, we got stuck on the missiles. Oh gosh, these motion controls are terrible. Let's also not forget that everyone in her village treated her like a boogeyman, which likely contributed to Ava's misanthropy. Didn't they live in Farther Dur? No, they lived in Farther Dur. Everyone in the part of Farther Dur that they lived in treated her. Remember, they were living inside. She was with the Varden when they were living inside the mountain with the dwarves. Let's not forget. Yeah, but it was also like they were wary of her because she was a child. Also, to be fair, she only started acting like that after she literally had to use magic to grow up quicker because that was the only way she could express how much pain she was in. Because she was literally feeling the pain of everyone who stubbed their toe in the nearby vicinity. Remember, her powers did not, like, distinguish the level of pain you suffered. Any amount of pain you suffered, she felt and experienced. Oh. I found the puzzle piece, so that's why I went back. I probably should have just waited. Oh! Nope. Ah. Nope. Okay, so let's try this, actually. Ooh, this could be cool. Well, nope. Oh, no. I was trying to go up there, but that's a really narrow... I was trying to get up there, so... to where that person is. I guess we gotta go back here through their little cubbies. Let's try and kill the rollerbladers, so we can just get through this. There we go. Yeah, and she had no one to comfort her. Instead, they ran the other way. All she had was her, like, adoptive caretaker or whatever. Who she did care for greatly. You know, because she was literally the only person that was there for all those years. The person that cared enough to grab onto the famed dragon rider while he was getting off his dragon and beg for a blessing. No, Ava was a hands-down great character. Probably one of the better written characters that Christopher Paolini wrote about in his entire series. Just hands down. Honestly, when it comes to well-written characters, she probably is the best written. Like, not one of them. Probably just flat out the best. Because her experience didn't necessarily... It made her more kind and sympathetic to pain, but she also grew bitter because she had to experience that pain. It also made her numb to a lot of casual suffering, too. Certainly the most memorable in my eyes. I mean, yeah, she still sticks out. I still remember most of her plot, just as a character, after all these years. Because, yeah, it was probably one of the most original ideas he had, too. It was also one of the only plots that lasted through the whole book that actually took advantage of the grammar of the ancient language. As I said, they kind of just forgot about that being a thing as the series went on, and Aragon just knew all the words. So that was the, you know, the remnant of that was essentially Ava. You know, back when the ancient languages grammar would come up on a regular basis. Yeah, remember Ava? That's how you could fuck that up, kids. One of the things I kind of liked was when we had that mage who was working with Roran and his, like, squad during the side chapters. And he was like, yeah, I'm not like, you know, a dragon rider. I can't, or an elf. I can't just conjure a fireball out of thin air. I would burn, I can only create as much energy as I could, like, physically produce from my body. I don't have an entire dragon to draw on. Or the power of a dragon or an elf who's, like, saturated in magic. So he had to actually be clever with some of his stuff, so a lot of Roran's tactics that used his magician were reliant on, like, very basic stuff he could do. Again, Murtaugh comes up too. Yeah, he had the ancient language thing, so wards are just not an issue anymore, which kind of sucks. Because wards were interesting when you had to think through them or figure out their limitations. One of the things I really enjoyed, one of my favorite, like, moments, I think it was the last time some niche aspect of the ancient language came up. And it was in the fight with the Razak and the Lithblanca. And Aragon was, like, casting around for spells. But Galbatorix had shielded them from, like, everything. And he thought everything was hopeless. But he's like, no, there's no one he could not have shielded them from everything in existence. Not if he wanted to have any control over them. Even if that was possible, he wouldn't have done it. And he ended up figuring out that there was he couldn't affect the eyes of the Razak, but he could block the light from entering their eyes. Like, create a layer of film away from their eyes that the wards couldn't catch it, to blind them. And he did it to Lithblanca too. And essentially was the only spell he was able to use against them. Because they were immune to everything else he knew. All the basic killing words and stuff like that. It also explained why, yeah, there are ways you could, like, pinch a nerve in the brain. The elves found those a long time ago, but they're so easy to ward against because they require so little energy. So it's basically, like, not even a problem to ward against them. There's no cost to the user. That means there's no cost to the defense either. Which is an interesting way to think about killing spells, actually. I mean, yeah, if it cost you, like, no energy to pinch a nerve, then it would definitely cost the, you know, shield basically no energy to stop you from pinching a nerve. It would only have to negate that much force. Aragon did a few things that were pretty good, all things considered. And there's a reason why it's a classic in my eyes. Yeah, whenever you encounter a mage, like, I think the thing that hit me hardest in the first book was when they get to Furthendur. And remember Braum had been talking about how he didn't have that much magic and he couldn't do stuff. We didn't really see what Braum did that often. His magic was like, where elves, the guy was based on the verge of fainting every time. Not exactly. He wasn't on the verge of fainting. It's just that he was, you know, often asked to do a lot of stuff. That only works for blunt force. I'm not talking about in physics, I'm talking about in the magic system. In the magic system, it's wards usually need to be able to stop as much force as you're putting in, or magical energy. Because they use nebulous energy. Most of the time. Boom! Uh-oh, bunnies. These things are actually really annoying to fight. Kill the bunny! Ah. Come on. Get him. It's so moving so erratically now. Try defending against the bullet. Easy for me, hard for you. Pulling honest magic in with Brimstone on the ring. Exactly. But then they get to Furthendur, and they tell them that Brahm's dead, and, you know, the leader of the Varden is like, oh my gods, he was the strongest mage we had. And you just suddenly realized how Brahm talked about how difficult it was to do basic stuff. And then you remember that even in spite of no longer having a dragon, having like lost his dragon years ago, and being weakened by it, he was still stronger than basically every other human mage, including the twins. He had basically spent his waning years pouring magic into the ring, back when he still had enough left over from his time as a dragon rider. And his body was still full of the leftover magic of his dragon. Like, and he was still pretty weak, all things considered. Yeah, his ring had a lot of magic, but he didn't use that on day to day. Oh, I need to do another level before I can actually do it. Let's do the pirate ship level. Then we should be good for the final boss. Finding the ring was cool, though. I like that Brahm had, like, essentially a mini nuke in his pocket. It fits his personality very well. My mixed feelings on Murtaugh, though. Ugh. I like the start, where Murtaugh is, like, you know, trying to investigate some undercover cult or whatever. I'm not sure how I like the Eldritch Abomination thing. The villain just kind of felt like random cultist lady. I don't know. I liked Murtaugh a lot, I think, personally. I like the Lovecraftian bent a bit. There was always a bit of Lovecraftian energy to a lot of Aragon, in my opinion. TVL's in the freaking zone talking about Aragon right now. I'm sorry. It's one of my passions, like my deep passions. Hey, look, it's Fox. Got it. Oh, look, I get to become an Iron Ball. But yeah. Moving on from there, though, because I could talk about Aragon forever. I never knew about the existence of the Murtaugh book. It's okay. I won't say it's better than the Aragon series, because it's not. Like, flat out. It's a little messy, and about, like, some kind of Lovecraftian nightmare cult that even the Dragon Riders feared, which is... I can see why people don't like it, because it's getting into that territory of, oh my gods, even the Dragon Riders had enemies they couldn't deal with, you know? I'm just like, I don't know. This feels like I get there are places where wild magic roams and all that shit. They just felt a little... What's the word I'm looking for? Fanfictious? It felt like fanfiction, actually, a bit. The whole Lovecraftian nightmare cult thing felt a bit like fanfiction. I liked it, but it felt like fanfiction. That's not to say they didn't entirely set it up. If you read the Fork, the Witch, and the Worm, it was a series of 3 short stories that he wrote and put in a book, and they are kind of recommended reading if you're gonna read Murtaugh. Found the Urgles were interesting too. Yeah, fleshing out the Urgles as more than just like mindless orc ripoffs is one of the other things they did well. There are, again, a lot of reasons why Aragon succeeded where a lot of Lord of the Rings ripoffs fail. The author actually putting effort in to flesh out his world is one of them. The Urgles had their own structure, and they very much did not like being used as front soldiers. When they broke free of Durz's mind control, they were very much like, yeah, no, so we want to murder Galbatorix, please. It's like, so you're gonna side with us? Of course, you'll let us murder Galbatorix, right? It's like, it wasn't that simple, but, you know, it's what it boiled down to, is we want revenge, and we're willing to work with humans to get it. They didn't necessarily like humans, they respected them, some of them for being great warriors, because that's, you know, they were a warrior culture, City of Hats and all that. But, oh look, it's one of those games where you put knives in the box. I actually like they fleshed out whole Urgle characters who were seen throughout the book. I can't pronounce any of the names, so I'm not even gonna try. All the names are like super... I have never had to listen to the names. I never actually listened to the audiobook of like Brisinger or Aragon. It's been so long since I listened to the Eldest audiobook. So I'm not gonna try and say those names. I will definitely screw them up. Alright, let's feel. But yeah, they fleshed out basically all their species. Except for the ones they wanted to make, you know, mysterious on purpose. Like the Rozak, for example. We don't know where Galbatorix found them. I will say this, though. If you were interested on more information on Durza, Murtagh actually does have a lot of details on Durza's backstory. He was a little more than he seemed. I'm not sure if Christopher Paolini added this after the fact, or if he always kind of had this sort of in mind for Durza as a backstory. I'm not sure if you remember from... And this actually isn't a spoiler. This was a confirmation we got, because this has actually been a long theory in the Aragon community, was that Durza was the shade that taught Galbatorix the spells for binding a dragon hatchling. Because in the Galbatorix's like backstory, he had lost his dragon on a foolhardy expedition to the north. And he had wandered the wilderness, and when he got back, he asked for a new dragon. And when he was refused, he did not take it well, and he learned a spell from a shade that allowed him to bind shuriken to him in the egg, which he then used to, you know, turn himself into a dragon rider again, essentially. And it's got confirmation in the Murtagh book that, yeah, Durza was definitely that shade. I mean, that had been long suspected. He was a shade in Galbatorix's employ, but, you know, shade. I'm also not sure, was shades a unique thing to the Aragon series? Because I don't think I've seen a shade before as, like, a mythical creature. I haven't actually seen that before. Is that something we can attribute to Christopher Paolini or not? Or did he grab that from something else? For reference, a shade was essentially a sorcerer, which was a type of magic user who summoned spirits to do their bidding. Spirits were like nebulously defined entities, the true nature of which requires years and years of study. They weren't a major focus series, they were kind of mysterious. And it's basically if you summon spirits, and you can get overwhelmed by them, so it's very dangerous and it takes a long time to master, even for elves. And one of the things was, hey, even if they were well aware of their natural bloodlust and violence was going to be a problem, give that bitch a dragon. Bitches love dragons. I mean, yeah, who doesn't love dragons? Would be a problem at a time of peace, yeah. I actually liked that they decided to make Urgles and dwarves dragon riders. I thought that was a nice touch for Aragon. I mean, they made humans dragon riders, right? And it's like, yeah, they can clearly do it. The elves have probably... I mean, we know that there's an elf alive from the era when they were mortal. What was her name? Runan or whatever it was? The blacksmith? That whole thing. Like, she was alive before the elves were immortal. So, clearly, they still have the knowledge of the spells they use to integrate humans. And they decided to integrate the Urgles and dwarves as a thanks for them helping to save the entirety of the dragon species from extinction. Yeah, I liked that. I thought it was a nice touch. Ooh. Making a new bitches love hashtag bitches love dragons. I mean, I'll use that hashtag. Sweet. It's a sweet hashtag. Ooh. Ow! Hot, 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 hot! But yeah, Durza had a bit of a history, turns out. But no, Shades, the whole thing with Shades is that if you summon spirits and you're unprepared, they can take over your body. And you essentially turn into a near-immortal, lich-like entity. They're not really a lich. Basically, they can only be killed if they're stabbed through the heart. And very few people have managed to kill a Shade, to the point where even the elves regard killing one as a massive achievement. You earn the title Shade Slayer. I mean, the Urgle that was traveling with Aragon even lay mention of the fact that their bloodthirsty nature would likely be the end of them. Yeah, they were self-aware about it, but they also couldn't give it up, because not only was it, like, a part of their very nature, like, it's clearly instinctive for them to challenge each other, but it was also clearly so rooted in their culture that trying to change it would be just as difficult as, you know, trying to survive with it. It wasn't an easy fix, because it was clearly very rooted in their culture. The consequences, actually, of a warrior culture actually explored for once. Meanwhile, the dwarves were so locked up in bureaucracy. They really did flesh out like the vibe of every like race in Aragon. The dwarves were like a lot closer to humans. Humans were like mayflies to a lot of other species. They were, you know, weak, but they had numbers, and they could reproduce and expand and develop faster than most of the others. They were very quick-lived individuals that lived in the moment. No joke. I used to putting this on the end of my comments randomly. Bitches love canon. Now it's gonna be dragons. Yeah. The Urgles were proud warrior species, but they were also self-aware about it and had a lot more of their history. Like, they had relations with both the dragons, humans, and elves, and they understood how other species viewed them as nothing more than savage brutes, even though they had mages. Like, being a mage requires some understanding of the world around you. It's not like they didn't have scholars and mages. It's just that they were a warrior culture, and that was what was deemed most important. And as a result, they had trouble, you know, connecting with other species and working with them, especially when they needed conflict, and when there was a peace that became the problem. Remove the existence of the dwarf that betrayed them. Yeah, that was harsh. That was intense. You essentially got, like, ghosted by everyone you knew, full on. The dwarves were very steeped in tradition. They were slow to act. They would act, but they were very slow to do so, mired in bureaucracy and traditions. Nothing can get done unless it's done correctly, which, don't get me wrong, had its benefits. The architecture is partially because they do things right. They planned the entire building, the entire construction, so massively that they created a fortress, a city fortress as their capital, that could house their entire species in times of duress. They hollowed out a mountain and left entire floors empty just in case they needed it to house their species from destruction, which they hinted has happened before. The elves were even slower to act. They were, you know, free folk. They were willful and independent. Their long lives gave them such a grand mastery of things that they took a much more sedate pace, but they also didn't act much. They became removed from the worlds. They straight up pretended that he wasn't there no matter what he did. Yeah. If you anger a dwarf, they're gonna remember it for the rest of eternity. Well, they'll remember it for the next few hundred years, and they will black you out of their history books. The elves will remember it and get you back for it. The elves are interesting because it's implied they actually used to have similar lifespans to humans before they became immortal. Which means humans are essentially going to become elves. Like, we even saw this with Aragon. When he got, like, transformed to be more like a dragon, he essentially just turned into an elf. But just, like, a slightly off elf, you know? His ears were maybe just, like, a little bit less pointed. His features a little bit less refined. It's heavily implied humans are going to end up looking like elves in the future. Like, a lot like elves. Alright, got him. Whoa! The Rozak even had reasons to exist. Like, the Rozak weren't just mindless monsters. They were intelligent creatures. For all that they were horrible, murdering bastards. They hunted humans. And humans and all things were their prey. Yay, you did it. I know, right? And when the Rozaks, like, killed, what was it? When the Rozak lost its mate, and it lost its parents, so it's Blanca and its other Rozak, it basically just told him, I curse you to the end of your days, but it was still willing to make Galbatorix pay, because it wanted their name to be remembered. The Rozak, at least what we saw, as show prominently featuring dragons. Oh god, I was wondering how long ago Game of Thrones came up. So this is a little embarrassing. I actually haven't watched that much Game of Thrones. I didn't have HBO when it was airing. Poor Slow, I remember his fate. Yeah, although to be fair, the man did get his own neighbors killed by trying to turn over people to man-eating cannibals. Like, at best, the Rozak were man-eating cannibals, and Sloan tried to work with them. That's what he thought they were. Yeah, he kind of deserved it. I mean, it was horrible, but he deserved it. That was also when Christopher Payne Lee decided to get brutal, though. Good gods. Man had his eyes pecked out, and Aragon was like... And he did survive. He lived out the rest of his days in the elves' forest. Which is what makes it all the more tragic. I watched the first season, and I've gotten the second season Blu-ray, and I'm actually going to watch it in the near future. I haven't watched House of the Dragon either. I've seen bits of it, but I have not watched the whole series yet, so I can't say for certain. I have heard about the mess that Season 8 is, and I'm just gonna kind of pretend Season 8 doesn't exist and just, I don't know, read fanfiction or something. Because I've heard it's really bad, but I probably should watch it too. I've heard how bad Season 8 is. I haven't heard all the details, but I've heard how bad it is. That they essentially, like, ignored all of the stuff that made sense in favor of just, oh look, I just knocked out the giant robo-bird. I still love how everything in this game is very obviously a robot. I'm never gonna get tired of that. The designs are very nice. They remind me a lot of... I know I think it says before, it reminds me a lot of Mario Odyssey. Like, the designs of the characters in the world really does remind me of it. Oh, shoot! Don't peck me! Boom! Didn't watch it at all. Started reading the prequels, it was kind of shite, so I didn't continue. Yeah. It's a weird thing for me, I think, because Game of Thrones has this reputation of being, like, really good until the last, like, season or season and a half. Evil, so that's why I hate the show. It was the dragon bitch, I guess. Don't ask, you don't blame. Oh no! I think I'd heard about it too. Well, I'm dead. TDL, would you kiss a dragon? Does that mean I would get to see a dragon? Because, See, because that implies I get to meet a dragon, and that's kind of a yes, like, automatically. But if it's, like, just about the kissing, then no. Yes! Got it! Would you marry a dragon? I'm not really sure I'd want, like a marriage of, like, financial marriage or, like, actually through romance. Because if it's like, hey, would you like to get married for tax reasons? So, yeah, dragon would probably be my first choice. If it's like, you know, for romance, nah, probably no. Mostly because I don't really see myself being romantically attracted to anyone. Ooh. Oh no! Got it! Did you kiss the forehead of a cute dragon? Of course! It's an adorable little baby dragon. Of course I would. Why would you not? Would you leave a baby dragon crying there on the steps? Because if so, you need to get the hell out of this chat. Yes! Took out its engine turbine wings. Yes, no. Baby or no, cute dragon is cute dragon. Of course I would. I mean, no, I would never. I am immune! Behold my Semisaran power! I'm not a ball like her, but I can do... No, no, no! Shit! God damn it! I was so close to being done with this fight. Got it. Boom. Last. Let's not wait for that. Alright. Flip it over. You know I would never. Oh, shame. Boing, boing. Oh no, it's spitting out its children. Seriously, what is wrong with you? Why are you vomiting up children? I know you're a robot and all, but this is just weird. Got it. Boom. Bam. But then I'm well aware normal life would be ruined for me because the government and scientists would be hiring hitmen to get it from me. Wow, TDL. Didn't die by falling once this stream. Nice. No, I died by falling a bunch of times. Just haven't been keeping track. Ah! Whoa, shit. Boom! Oh. Alright. Wait, do we have to kill it 4? Do we have to hit this thing 4 times? Jeez. Alright. Time to bash his head again. Kill the giant bird robot! Oh, I love the way I love the cartoon physics of this game. Oh, I'm beating up his head bump. That's just rude. I'm attacking a head wound. That feels very low. Honestly, I feel a bit bad for that one. Oh, look, it's Aloy. About time, girl. Where you been? Imagine if dragons would actually exist. Not in hiding like me. First, the thought of humans militarized. I mean, that's... you just described Temeraire. Read His Majesty's Dragon. Seriously, Nerd Dragon. Read His Majesty's Dragon. You will understand why I'm so frustrated we'll never be made into a movie. That is literally what the Romans did in that world. Yeah, the Romans started it. Well, China and Rome, technically. Different people doing different times. That is literally what they thought. Oh. You sweet summer child. That is the Temeraire series. The glorious Temeraire series. Okay, so this is the one that's stumping me. So we have robot fake animals, and then robot super fake animals? I'm confused. Like, I feel like this one... Oh, let me restart. I missed that little puzzle piece. Now I'm curious. Yes! Thank you! Please, I beg of you, read Temeraire. All of you, please read Temeraire by Naomi Novik. Naomi Novik is the author. Read it. Trust me, you will not regret this. Temeraire is adorable. He is so sweet. He likes books. He wants Lawrence to read to him at night. It's so adorable. It's so cute. And also there are also it's dragons during the Napoleonic War. It is great. Lawrence is a great character. Is she firing carrots? Are we not allowed to have arrows now? We have to fire carrots. Added QOL to the game in live chat. Oh, cool. Oh, okay, thank goodness. This is actually what I was... That actually makes that a lot better. Yeah. Having to, like, see where my stuff is going is a pain. Or not necessarily see where it's going, but, like, having to, like, imagine where the stuff is gonna be is a really big pain in your game, not gonna lie. Alright, that's Slow-Mo power. Astrobot FPS gamer. I mean, yeah, basically. I don't know, it feels weird. It feels really weird to play this game in particular, because the whole point of this game was robot dinosaurs. What was that thing I had to read? It's the Temeraire series. Here, I'm gonna put it in chat. Naomi Novik. That's the author's name. Naomi Novik. Please read it. It is so good. It is wonderful series. Basically about a Navy officer who captures a French vessel, and they find a rare, unidentifiable dragon egg on board. That's clearly not like one of the common English breeds they've bred over the years. And they have to harness it, and the only person it's willing to bond with is him. And since aviators aren't looked at well in society, and his father barely tolerated him being a naval captain, he basically has to choose between whether he wants to serve his country as a dragon rider and be with Temeraire, be there for him. So in this universe, dinosaurs are actually flesh and blood, like in ours. I'm not sure about dinosaurs. I don't think dinosaurs really got mentioned, so I don't know. It's set during like Napoleonic War. Alright. FPS. Well, it's gonna be FPS. It'd be third-person shooter, not first-person. No, in Astrobot, I mean. Oh, in this universe, dragons are actually... No! We saw them. You saw the giant dish panel dinosaur. The little, like, brachiosaur-looking thing with the giant dish plate on its head. Because, yeah, they have just robot animals and then realistic-ish robot animals. Which, I don't know, it just feels confusing for some reason. Needlessly so. Like, I get you want to reference Horizon, and it is probably one of your bigger franchises at the moment, so you want to give it its own world. I get that. Still odd. Oh god, I actually don't remember most of the side characters' names from Horizon. I like Aloy as a character, at least in the first one. I'm not really sure. Her whole I have to do this alone thing really started to grate on me in the second one a bit. But mostly because she's the only one who has the keys to stop the apocalypse. Yeah, her genetic code is literally all that allows her to open the vaults. And she dies. Canonically, whenever you die, the world ends. Full-on Link Zelda style. And people are constantly telling her to, like, take them with you. And I get it, the gameplay would not play as well, so the story kind of rubbing up against that. Except for Spyro, and robots are what humans in our universe. So here Aloy fights with flesh and blood dinosaurs. I guess. And the hologram robots made flesh and blood. Essentially the equivalent of, like, they recreated life entirely, I guess. Oh, that's actually a lot more impressive than making robot dinosaurs. One of the interesting things, too, is that they are technically AI-generated robot dinosaurs. Like, in the lore, Gaia essentially one of Gaia's sub-programs, Hephaestus, designed things that were meant to look like animals, essentially, and move like them, because it was optimal for movement, apparently, to an extent, for a natural sort of fake ecosystem, while they used them to terraform. So, like, they all have purposes. They have, like, oxygen recombiners and stuff like that to, like, turn CO2 into oxygen before the plants are ready, and to monitor the health of the biosphere and stuff like that. So they're essentially a network of not only monitoring software, but also various types of sensors and water purifiers and all this other stuff meant to accommodate for the fact that a lot of our microorganisms no longer exist. Horizon was boring for me. I've been Game Donut. I don't know meme. The whole plot was kind of cool because it's essentially a tech CEO decided to be really cool and design weapons for the military. And it didn't go well, and it went rogue. After one of his colleagues warned him it would probably go rogue. You know, the typical AI plot. Except this one had a Grey Goose scenario. And one of the main plots of the first game is literally that Aloy's trying to figure out what happened to humanity. Because she learns fairly early on, like, what happened. Temeraire Book 1. Book 1 is His Majesty's Dragon in America. I'm not sure. It has different titles based on where it is. So His Majesty's Dragon is Book 1. But no, one of the first mysteries is, like, how did they stop it, you know? How did they stop the end of the world? How did they defeat the Grey Goose scenario? They didn't. That was, like, the big twist, and I was just like, when I heard that, I was like, we can't stop it. I'm just like, what? What do you mean you can't stop it? There are a bunch of humans around. They're still around. They didn't save the world. All they could do was rebuild it after the fact. Multiple books. Fine, I'll give it a shot anyway. His Majesty's Dragon is already really good on its own. It's about stopping in... It's a really good on its own. It's a good standalone book. And the series is good. Although, I will say the series does drop off after the Australia one. You can kind of actually read up to Australia, and you'll know which book I'm talking about if you read it all. It's like, I think, 2 books before the end, so it's, I think out of like the 7 book series, it's books 1 through 5, or books 1... No, books 1 through 6, I think. And that's basically an ending, like a satisfying ending of retirement, but if you want the whole revenge ending, then that will get you all the way through. I kind of drop off after the Australia book. I think the Australia book is a good closing to the series and didn't really need more, but Naomi decided to keep going, so... I'm not gonna say I don't like it a bit. The Japan subplot was pointless, so that's why I am a little down on the later stuff. It felt a bit too... character goes to this place kind of storytelling for me, but the first like solid see here, so Black Powder War is book 3 with Throne of Jade, then you have book 4 with that, book 5 is the war, yeah, so book 6, and there's probably 8 of them then. I will say you can kind of stop reading around book 5, and they're not that long either. They're fairly short, they're fairly good books. I read it when I was a lot younger, back in like high school. It's one of my favorite series. It has been for a long time, even with my issues. Even if I don't think it's perfect, I think Temeraire is one of the best dragon characters, hands down. He has a very distinct personality, and he actually gets like a full plot onto himself. You're looking for a dragon character that really gets explored as a character. Temeraire does. Temeraire does as much stuff as Lawrence. In fact, during the fighting, oftentimes he's doing more, and even like outside of the fighting. Lawrence is the one who kind of wants to just live a normal life and just kind of relax. He would be happy just serving his country and living out his days with Temeraire by the end. Temeraire is kind of the one who pushes him to do a bit more, and Temeraire himself has a whole complicated history of his own that he has to grapple with personally. Lawrence is almost like his dad in a way. It's almost like a father-son thing. I hate to say that because they're very equal in a lot of ways, but Temeraire does come across as a bit of a child at times. He's very young, but he grows up fast because dragons mature quickly. Like, nice. This is gonna ruin me financial. Still worth it. Yeah. I'm upset there's not more Temeraire art. I love all the little art, the fan art you can find online of Temeraire and Lawrence just cuddled up together with Lawrence reading him a book. It's so adorable. So adorable. I mean, if you don't want to like read the books yourself, they're at most, they should be at a lot of libraries, I think. It got decent translations. I mean, you're not in America, so maybe it's not, you know, in Polish libraries. There's probably a Polish translation. I go to my library if I don't, not sure about, you know, if I want to own a copy of a book. I'll read it from my local library. Remember, kids, support your local libraries. This has been your friendly PSA to remind you that your local library is a good thing, and you should definitely support it. I'm a big advocate for going to the library and doing things. I'm still going to my local libraries. Even though I can buy most of my books now, I still go there for other stuff. One thing I discovered recently is that after COVID, our library rebuilt over by the river, and there's actually a 3D printer available now. You have to take a class first. It's a free class. You have to take that, though, before you're allowed to use it. So basically, you have to pass a competency test, and in order to take the test, you have to go to class, so they can make sure you know the basics of how to use it. But yeah, and you can use a 3D printer at your local library. I'm not sure if that's a common thing, but it's in Louisiana, so there's probably in a lot of other places. Hollywood needs to reach out for more book material so they don't need to make... this is the thing that's gonna make you angrier. They have reached out to Naomi Novik. One studio bought the rights to the entire series, but the books the whole production got stuck in like, development hell, and nothing came of it. Now the rights have been licensed again for a second time, I think, and the director's interested, but we'll have to see if anything comes of it. There have been plenty of people who want to make it, it's just you get stuck in development hell. I found out it's not uncommon for studios to just buy rights to books, apparently. Honestly, one of the things I'm a little surprised about is that Wings of Fire never got like an animated series or something. Oh hell, look! It's a robot T-Rex! And I'm on a robot turtle! Wings of Fire is like really popular, has a very devoted fan base, even after all these years. And I'm surprised that it doesn't have like a, you know... Wow, they really do kind of, it's a little bit cinematic, but they did kind of nail the weak spot gameplay a bit. It's not as fleshed out as Horizon, but it's still amazing how they managed to compress like the simplistic, most simple versions of this gameplay together. Yes. I think the Temeraire series easily is going to run into the main problem of dragons are expensive, and this book series has a lot of dragon characters. Like, seriously, for basically every human captain, you have a dragon. And the dragons have their own crews with people on them. Like, it's not like one guy sitting on top of a dragon. It's they rig them out with an entire crew of people like a ship. So there's like an entire gunner squad with old musket rifles and stuff like that. And there's a doctor, and there's rigging under the bottom for supplies. And there are different types of dragons. Some are small, they're couriers. Others are large, heavyweights that have like huge, massive crews. There are a lot of dragons in the series. There is a lot of bit of politicizing, and there's a lot of stuff going on, but good gods, there are so many dragons, and during the combat scenes, you're gonna have a lot of dragons on screen. And that's a very, very, very large effects budget. For something that, as much as I hate to admit it, dragons during the Napoleonic War is a niche thing. It would be a it would appeal heavily to me, because I love the series, and I'm a fan of the series. But to the average person, if you released His Majesty's Dragon and said, it's the Napoleonic War but with dragons, some people might be interested, but you wouldn't have the same, like, you know, phase 1 and 2 of Marvel kind of stuff you need in order to really fund an effect budget that large. Money. Any monies I get, not necessarily just mine, just take and give. I agree. If I could, like, snap my fingers and make it a reality, I would. But there's Hollywood's. I don't think Hollywood's gonna go for it as much as I hate it. And the fact is, if they're not gonna go for this series, yeah, you could argue that the whole historical thing is a little. Oh, they even have Aloy's mom essentially. So the whole thing was that the final scientist left to fix the problem that would allow her project to work. So there were a few scientists that hold themselves up to finish the programming. And she had to lock it out again. She had to lock herself out to prevent the swarm from getting inside, to fix the panel. And so she knew she was going to die once the suit failed, so she sat down here with the suit, and Aloy found her. And she's the genetic material guy used to make Aloy, so she's essentially her mom. It was a very poignant scene at the end of the first book, when we try and find out what, like, who Aloy is and why she was then. Oh look, they actually, like, you know what? I like the customizing. I hate that we're going to clean it up, though. I hate that they're probably going to remove all the custom paneling. Just take and give. Yeah, it would be a really cool series, and I think it's one of the series that, like, even though there's a lot of stuff going on in the books, the overall plots, I think, can be compressed into a movie, which is not something I can say about every book. There are some books that are just, like, their plots are kind of convoluted with a lot of moving pieces, and it'd be hard, a lot of internal monologues in particular, and they can be hard to put into stuff, but with Temeraire, I really think you can, like, just use the Victorian era shorthand to get a lot of the backdrop cleared off, and it would be really easy to compress the whole series into a movie, which is a shame, because we're probably not going to get that movie ever. I want it so bad. I would probably do a lot of dark things, actually, to get a Temeraire movie. Oh, God. Just thinking about it makes me kind of sad. But no, Naomi Novik's one of my favorite authors. She's done a lot of good stuff, and I found her through the Temeraire series originally. What the? Okay, the paint was actually sentient robots. Yep. Got it. Oop. There we go! Clean panels. Now they're boring and sterile like Apple. Ugh. I actually have these nice black panels, but I've been wanting to like do a bit of custom work on them for a while. Like, you know, I have these acrylic markers, so maybe like putting some acrylic drawings on there, give it more of a custom look. What do you guys think? Should I put like some dragons on the side of it? Dragons flying? I really have been. I'm actually considering trying to like do some acrylic drawing on the side of them. Boring and sterile, just like me. Oh. Also, I don't know why you're screwing these in, because you don't have to screw the panels in. That sounds like a good idea. Oh no, the puns. Fun fact, by the way, panels don't screw in, so this is... Sony couldn't even get their own assembly of their own console correct. Also, since when have we used these kind of cables to connect things? Pull. Alright. They can't even get their own console assembly correct. You know, I'd actually like it if we actually were retrieving, like, realistic looking PS4, PS5 components. Not these, like, cartoon version where they're just cubes. It is still kind of cool, though, you can rebuild it. Though I do wish we had a slide-on instead of, you know, screwing in the cover, because you don't actually screw in the cover. It just snaps into place. That's why it's nice, is because it makes it really easy to customize. It also means there are definitely people out there who 3D printed their own. We also had a Katamari Damacy reference in one of those. I forgot about him. There's something else here we haven't made yet. Oh, it's a golden statue. I can already tell. Final boss time, everybody! I love how the PS5 has, like, is scared. Crash site. Well, time to go deal with that alien. Oh, am I gonna ride a PS5 into battle? God, this is like the most brand marketing I've ever seen. I am actually gonna fly a PS5 into battle against the final boss. Giving me Ava from WALL-E vibes. It really, actually, the eyes in particular, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All the robots are actually starting to give me that now that you said it. They all have that same kind of sleek white with the, you know, blue pixel eyes and the black faceplate. Push the PS5 button already. PlayStation. Oh wait, are we actually sitting on a PS1 battleship? Okay. This is like so much brand marketing. I get that it's basically showing off all their stuff, but I gotta give Sony credit. This is kind of one hell of a celebration for their 30th. Because remember, this game came out as part of their 30th anniversary. This is kind of crazy, and I like it. It reminds me of the piece... Does anybody else remind it of, like, the... Oh my god, wait, this is the credits? Is anybody else reminded of, like, the PC Master Race cartoon videos on YouTube? Whoa! Only difference is that they're not penguins. To this very day bothers me. PS1, give me strength! Yo! Oh my god, so we gotta like merge the consoles together to form a super console Power Rangers style, like when the Power Rangers mix all their weapons together to form a super cannon. Seriously, why is Ava a penguin? I don't think she was meant to be a penguin. I think she was just like a... She didn't really have like a waddle or anything. She floated and she had like the detached arms that kind of maybe resemble a penguin, but not quite. I don't think she was specifically supposed to be a penguin, was she? Unless they have some, like, director's commentary where they were like, yeah, we based her design on a penguin. Oh, they brought out, like, all their weird hardware, too. The freaking micro... I love that they kind of, like, let a character from that era that represents, like, the best of those games come here. So we got the guy from Shadow of the Colossus and a Ratchet and Clank helping us out for the PS2. That's kind of cool. You gotta give them props for this. They really kind of went all out in the celebration. Oh, reversing. Oh. Corrupt our tech, will you? Got him. They're better at celebrating legacy than making. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. The PS5 is kind of a downer. Mostly because I have no... the PS5 is going to die eventually, and I'm not going to be able to replace the parts. And that's going to make me really frustrated because the Demon's Souls remake is actually nice, and then you know they're never going to put it on PC. Because the SSD in this thing is locked into it. It's soldered to the hard drive. I think I mentioned that before. Which means any late-game homebrewing is going to deal with the fact that the PC is going to die. Now, maybe people will figure out a way to resolder it, but that's going to be really expensive. It's also going to mean that in a few years, PS5s are going to start, like, dying en masse. Instead of right now. Like, I replaced my PSP. I had a DS, so this was I was a DS household, sorry to say. The DualShock. Alright, the DualShock 3 kind of sucks. Like, whenever I pull up my PS3, I have this, like, old DualShock 3 controller that I got online. It's basically just a re-skinned one I got. I kind of hate the controller. Because you need the DualShock. The DualShock can be nice for some games, but I just freaking hated the way it was, the buttons were terrible. And I have connection issues basically on every version I've ever had. They will put it on PC eventually. Isn't SSD overhyped anyway? Actually, SSDs make a big difference. They're on all modern stuff. If you have bought anything in the last few years, PS4, I think PS4 had an SSD. Is it PS4 SSD or hard drive? I actually can't remember if PS4 is or not. If it's not, I'll have to replace it. I replaced my PS3 though with an SSD, and it actually improved the load time substantially. I know some people still have hard drives, but seriously, if you have not used an SSD before, SSDs are not just marketing. They actually improve read and load times in games, flat out. I really just like the PSP's UI. Yeah, I can see that. Wow, this really is... I gotta give them points for this, right? If you're going for full celebration, no SSD for me. I know. Assembly uses an HDD, but he also gets away with it because he uses Linux. If you're on Windows, you have to use an SSD. Like, the load times otherwise are so bad. But Linux is lightweight enough that, and also he doesn't play modern games. The last thing you played was Baldur's Gate, and I think you were one of the main culprits behind the long load times. Remember how long it would take you to load Vulkan shaders? Alright, final boss. We got you surrounded, buddy. Oh, shoot. Let go of me. PS5 Battleship. Like, there's the SSDs are actually good, and you can get like mid-tier storage on SSD for not that much money. Like, 2 TB SSD is not that expensive anymore. I actually got a 500 terabyte one at a used shop for like 40 bucks. They're not, actually no, it was 20. It was on sale for half off. It was half off used hardware parts. It was right after Christmas, so they had like their Christmas specials or their post-Christmas specials or whatever. at Game Exchange. So I got one for $20. Now it was usually priced at $40, but even with that, that's still really good. That's the most you need for like a few games. Why do they make things unportable on PC? Oh shoot! Boo! Because it means people had to buy the PS5, and they like that because it gives them money. That's all there is to it. Sorry. They can port things, they just choose not to. Monkey Pack. I would have wanted Time Stop, but you know. And get him again. Got him. He's not really aiming, is he? Oh. A snake that can't even kill me with its bite. Sorry, buddy. That is actually the reason, though, is they just don't want to have to port things. And to be fair, there is cause for that. One of the first things I wanted to do, one of the first reasons I wanted a PS5 was to see the Demon's Souls remake. I really like the Souls series. And there is a way to pressure people with things like Horizon or God of War. That is a legitimate way of getting people to subscribe to your console system. You might not like it, but it's how consoles survive. I mean, look at Xbox. They decided not to have exclusivity to port everything. People praise them for it. And then they didn't buy the Xbox. And you know what? Good on them for doing it, but it kind of backfired on them. Not to say I prefer other way. God of War Ragnarok, Ratchet and Clank, Sony, you are retards. Oh my god, keep dying. I'm actually not dying as much from falling this time, am I? Like, I've fallen a few times, but most of my deaths have been because of, like, actively getting smacked in the face. Uh-oh. What do we got? What do we got? Spin the wheel! I mean, look at Nintendo. They thrive off console use. I mean, yeah, they thrive. Well, I'd also argue Nintendo thrives because they're the kid-friendly console. And there is actually, no, there's a business sense to that. So, the Switch actually, I think, I'm not sure if it almost or if it did finally surpass the PS2. And that's impressive because the PS2 is essentially a DVD or DVD player, which was one of the reasons it sold so well, because it was a cheap DVD player. And the Switch beat it. Yeah, it did surpass it. Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure. I thought it did. I wasn't entirely sure. The reason for that is actually very simple. If a family wants to buy a Switch and they have 2 kids, they buy 2 Switches. If a family wants to buy a PS5 for their kids, they buy 1 PS5. Because that's the way we treat home consoles. The Switch was seen more like a phone or a mobile device, like a Game Boy or a DS. Why are the margins on consoles? Can it be that much higher than increased game sales? Consoles are usually sold at least a partial loss in order to make them more cost effective than building a PC. Because you can usually buy a console for cheaper than you can build a equally spec PC, or about the same price. So they usually have very low margins on the console sale in order to justify the console sales. And they don't just make it off consoles; they make it off everything. Ever wonder why they have servers and not peer-to-peer? They're a console for everyone, including hardcore. Yeah! Well, and there's a lesson to learn. And that's something Nintendo also did well, is they didn't just make it a kiddie console. They put good stuff on it. They learned their lesson over the years. And they managed to hit that sweet spot of appealing to indie developers, because it was easy to port stuff to, apparently. they appealed to, and they courted them, actively courted indie developers during the early stages, which was really good for getting the hardcore gamers on. Those that didn't play, like, FPS titles. Because it gets you to pay for Sony Premium Plus. Because it gets you to pay for Sony Plus, a subscription service, which is how companies make all their money these days. And it also lets them make margins on every game they sell. So if you buy a game on Sony's store, or you buy a disc game, the developer has to give Sony a cut of the profits, because they sold it on their store. And Sony would rather you do it that way. And so they're willing to give you a console for essentially no profit, or basically no profit. Because they can also sell you accessories. I mean, the controllers are $80. It does not take $80 to make a DualShock, you know? God damn, I'm terrible at this. Does not take $80 to make a DualShock controller. I can tell you that much. They could, and they might, and that might be what. Oh my God, I'm terrible at the rocket dog thing. And that might be what becomes more profitable in the long run. Microsoft tried it out. Now, it didn't work out for them. And also, trying to compete with Steam is pretty difficult. They would need to do that. And let's be honest, Microsoft's Xbox store has a better chance of competing with Steam than Sony does if they were to just jump into the market. I think Sony, it worked for a while, but we are reaching that point of consoles, or the increments between consoles and the next generation are getting smaller and smaller with, like, every year. Like, the PS5 isn't struggling to play stuff. It's not. At least not on, like, balanced performance settings. As long as you don't want super high graphical settings, the PS5 can play basically everything that's coming out right now with no problem. And I think that is an issue they're going to run into. It's also people who just don't really see that as an option anymore. Like, this is how Sony has made money for years. I feel like there's a reason that Sony's, like, the term we used to call them is stay the course. I remember that one that was on a few memes with Sony. They don't really do new stuff as much as they just do the other thing but with another number. They do the old thing but with a new number on the end. That's Sony's MO. Nintendo thrives because they have periods of high and low, depending on when their creativity is either a hamper or a hindrance or a help. Because Nintendo is always innovating, so it's whether or not their innovations actually pay off. Nintendo takes risks, and the risks pay off long term because they've developed good motion control technology and a bunch of really cool patents they've been able to put into the Switch. I mean, think about it. They use the motion controls they learned from the Wii to improve the motion controls on the Switch. Even if you don't use it, it's still something they've been able to iterate on over multiple consoles. Whereas Sony, yeah, they have the DualShock's, like, adaptive triggers and stuff, but I wouldn't really call that a selling feature. It's more of a weird gimmick. They did what players like and it paid off. I mean, they're not wrong. Nintendo is in a really good position right now. Even that Power World controversy did not hit them as hard as, like, I feel like it would have a few years ago. Oh my God, it knows what I like. No! It gave me the dog because it knows I'm terrible with the dog. It cheated. Cheating little bastard. Oh, the alien knows it cheats. Does it do this if you... I wonder if it actually is programmed if you lose regularly with something to, like, switch to it. Like, it actively switches the thing you've died the most with. That would be a really annoying way to screw with a player and force them to get good. There we go. We freed the CPU! Or the main CPU, I think. Even the failed Wii U tablet for you. Yeah, it was an innovation. They took their controller tablet thing and they turned it into the Switch when they were like, oh, so a lot of people think it's stupid because you can't take it out of the living room. But what if you could take it out of the living room? Their entire console lineup has essentially been building to the Switch if you look at their history. Think about it. The GameCube was their last, like, traditional console. And even that one gave them their button layout. Because the Switch controller is basically a slightly modified GameCube controller. The GameCube controller can be used for the Switch. You can buy GameCube controllers for it. And then they made the DS with its dual-screen touchpad. They made the Wii with its motion controls. The Wii U with its tablet screen where you could, like, not necessarily need the TV. And finally, they made the Switch. And now they're like, yeah, we're just going to keep making more Switches because Switches are amazing. Oh my gosh, we're blowing up all the enemies. Oh shit. So, making good shit guarantees good sales as long as journalist doesn't make surround your ass. This philosophy could probably be applied to movies and shows as well. Where are my adaptations? I mean, Hollywood's kind of a bit of a mess on its own, let's be honest. I'm the one robot that looks a... Aww. Sacrifice for my friends. Wow, they actually got me mildly attached to Astrobot. I guess marketing works. I mean, not really, but like, a little bit. I felt a little bit of a glimmer of something. I sacrificed myself so the others may live. May your franchises be forever strong. Sony, bring half this stuff back. Oh wow, Astrobot actually dies. That's the ending. Damn. Living, breathing example of making good shit, people will buy it instead of monochrome. Well, yeah, but the Switch is also a very heavily marketed object. Like, it is a game system that acts like a portable game. Oh, wait, never mind, I live. Never mind. Never mind. I live. Fake out heroic sacrifice. Ooh, okay, maybe not. They'll put me back together, it's fine. I can rebuild. We will rebuild him. Boo! Boo! Well, yeah, again, we just talked about how it surpassed the PS2 because it's... Yeah, give me my arm back, please. Thank you. Because it was a portable console, and so parents would buy multiple copies of it. Wake up, you idiot! Wake up! Wake up! Oh! Give me another arm, please. We can rebuild him. Better, stronger, faster. I keep shaking. They're gonna full on shit with Theseus me, aren't they? Shit with Theseus, I called that out right as you said it! We really do think alike, the man. I called it out right as you typed in chat, oh my god. Rest in peace, sweet asshole. Ship the Theseus moment, I know, right? Oh. Oh, that was a satisfying click moment. I gotta admit, whoever did that click sound effect, mwah. You really did that, like, nice, steady click. I love that sound. Perfect. Welcome back, Astrobot. The power of love and friendship, of fucking course. Well, that and the power of extra robot parts. And somebody had a 1-up lying around. Wait, so you don't have a heart? No, he lost all his hearts. He died. You might have noticed during the fight, whenever I fought the bosses, I had like 2 extra hearts following me around, so I had extra lives. They just put one of those in him. Oh, the credits are actually playable. I love playable credits. Ah, I love playable credits. They're the best. Hey, game designers, if you want us to watch the credits, make them playable. Ah, okay. Oh, and we even get to play around with each of the power-ups as we do it. This is a fun. This is a really cool credit sequence, actually. Still wish they died. Yeah, well, not everything needs to be bleak. Also, this is, like, not the game for that. Like, tonally wise, I guess. Me too. Everyone wants Astrobot dead. Oh, it's like everyone liked it better when Astrobot was dead. Oh. Do 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 do. Uh-oh. Woo! The Samus Aran cosplay, but I'm wearing a pot in a kettle. This is fun. It's not challenging, but it's fun. Look at all these names. All these people who work on this random-ass platformer. I love it when the world burns in purifying flames all night. No, I get it. I get it. I'm down with that vibe. Don't get me wrong. I really am. That's usually, like, my vibe, quite frankly. It's just, you know, every once in a while I do like a little bit of a pick-me-up. Oh, nope. Oh, I was hoping I could get on the PS2 and party. I was hoping I could get party up there with the PS2 with them. Hey, if you want it online, this is probably popular enough to have fanfiction written about it. Yeah, think about that. There's probably Astrobot fanfiction out there. Oh, that reminds me of something, actually. I was watching YouTube Shorts. I know you. But also, what I was doing was I was watching some shorts, and there was this moment where they were like, I could totally kill Astrobot. He can stop time, dude. Also, so basically it was like, you know, Raid Shadow Legends, you know, that game you've probably seen marketed but never played, is bad because there is like no fan fiction of it, and that's when you know a series is bad. Apparently there are like 9 stories of it on Archive of Our Own. Their entire thing is hero characters that you're supposed to get attached to, and there are like 9 fanfics. Wow, that is a bad game. Can you imagine a fandom that cares so little about the characters that they just like no fanfic? Hey, you want to check in? It's the 2 hour before the end. Well, they were doing the playable credits with a Gatling gun. Look at the cool Gatling gun we got. But it's full of little toy balls because of course we have an actual Gatling gun. I don't remember all of these. I'm nearly positive I didn't use the Gatling gun or the symbols. Maybe it's one of the extra bonus levels I need to unlock still. There's some actually innovative power-ups, actually. I guess this is like a force field generator. Alice used to use one of those. Standard issue pepper gun. Doc Hack is a great game, but it got basically no fanfics. Yeah, but it's also like a niche game. Raid Shadow Legends is something I think we've all kind of heard of, too. Also, how does it not have fanfics? Are you sure? If it's older, it might just be on fanfic.net, not Archive of Our Own. Alice Cooper, Alice in Wonderland, Alice in Chains? Deadman Wonderland? No, there's no Alice in that, I don't think. Alright. And, yeah. Okay. So, Alice and her madness of Alice... and her madness of American McGee. Now turn off the PS5. You can relive the final battle as often as you like. Oh! There's a whole... Of course they had a speedrunning segment. Wait, what is this actually? Let me see. What is this galaxy? Oh! Wait, is this like... Wait, are these like the boss fights? Or are these like separate challenges? And they have characters we haven't unlocked yet. Let's try building speed. TDL, turn off your console right now. But the console didn't die! We saved the console! That wouldn't make sense. Alright, go! Well, I already had it backwards, so I've already not done great. Oh, there's a bird! That's supposed to, I'm guessing, represent like a speedrunning time? Ah! I didn't beat it. I guess I gotta beat the bird in order to get another one. Mission is a failure. Cut the power right now. No, I refuse. I set a personal best. I need to beat the bird. So there's a fat bird and a tiny bird. Oh. Whoop. I die immediately. Oh, wow. Maybe we should be turning on these falling deaths. Here, I'm just going to add a few there. The falling death counter is always a little off. Alright, got ahead of it. Alright, keep going, keep going. No! I'm ahead of the bird! Damn it! TDL is a JoJo reference. No Metal Gear? No Metal Gear, I'm sorry. I am not a JoJo reference. I refuse. Oh my god, I'm dying a lot. Jeez. Oh, frickin'. I had this, like, nailed at first, and then I just was like, nope, I'm gonna die, like, multiple times in a row. I do want to beat at least one of these. Whoa! Simply, there could be two characters in MIOQ series that could be legitimately slip with Kite. That's Natsume. She does go to the same school as Kite. Oh, I really should be paying attention. I'm doing this. I'm such an idiot. Oh, man. Oh, shoot. Ah! She isn't even in the single raid, and Black Rose. I mean, Temeraire has a surprising amount of fanfiction. Then again, it's a book series. I find that book series, even less popular ones, tend to attract a certain amount of, like, writers. Because, you know, they're more likely to attribute people who actually, like reading and writing. You got PG Sniper Rifle. Use this to defeat Sniper Wolf. Oh, isn't that streamer that, like, kept... That, what is it? They were the React streamer, right? That one React streamer that had that controversy a while back? I thought that was what they were called, right? Sniper Wolf? I don't keep up with a lot of controversy. I try and just ignore a lot of it. DL, there's a button that can skip to the end of a level. Look at your computer and stop streaming. I actually don't have a button called stop streaming. I have an end stream button. Aha! When the keywords are different and your joke doesn't land. Alright, I'm a little ahead of the thing now. Now I just gotta keep my pace. Yeah, well, if the joke was trick him into hitting the end stream button, the semantics are a little important. Alright, I beat the red one. Yes! I beat them both! Oh look, I rescued Helldive. Wait, is Sony allowed to claim Helldivers anymore? I thought they already royally screwed that franchise up. I thought they weren't allowed to claim that anymore because they royally screwed it up. Oh well, I guess the game would have already been in development by the time they did that. Or nearly done. Honestly, I'm a little surprised how new some of the references are. That's probably why this bonus level exists. It's probably a lot of stuff that came out this year. Oh, they probably only had time to like add a single character into. That would have made some sense. The speedrunning levels are fun though. They basically just test your skills with the actual upgrades. So like the standard power-ups, you test your skills with it. They tried too. Alright. I hate the rocket dog, I'm just gonna say it. God damn it. No, I'm probably not beating the red one. I'm barely beating the blue one. Ah, god damn it. Ah. Arrgh. No, wait, this is an Aztec temple, not a pirate temple. Do pirates have temples? Probably not. Unless they worship like a sea god or something like that for like good weather? Probably not though. Well, I guess if you were Greeks, you would probably worship like Hermes and a Poseidon, right? You know, Hermes, god of thieves, and then Poseidon because you don't want your ship to be sunk. Oh, we got it. No! I missed the jump pad. God damn it. That's gonna be my undoing in this run. There it is. When you basically know a run is done, and you're just like kind of defeated. The worst part is the red bird isn't even like going all the way to the end. It's literally like decent time. It's just like a little bit above decent. Not making mistakes. Not making mistakes. You could probably make like a few mistakes, like 3 or 4 mistakes, and still get there. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Gotta get my time up. We will beat this frickin' little bird. I will not be outflown by a bird. I refuse. My pride as a dragon compels me. Well, there's that one. Restarting again. Yeah, that again, I don't want to do the... I've already gotten the blue one, so... I like how the blue one is also like the bigger kind of fat bird. It's like the live little red one is top tier. Not that blue isn't my favorite color or anything, it's just, you know. Whee! Woo! Also, it's just like really fun to use this power. You got this, TDL. Well, maybe. We'll see. Oh, come on. Yes! Oh, I probably like a second. This isn't Skibidi or Phantom Tax. Oh my gosh, when the motion controls get like completely derailed. I'm pointing my controller at the screen right now. Now I have it twisted around. When the motion controls are all relative, because there's no sensor, it's all just relative based on like the gyroscope. Let's go! Look at that though. We're awesome. I am awesome. Let's do it. So this is all like the recent stuff, I guess. Mostly stuff for like this year and earlier. Okay. That's kind of cool. I like that they put it in like a little speed run area. You know what? We got like 15 more minutes before I'm ready to go. So let's go ahead and, you know, do the rest of the speed run areas. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? Any suggestions you'd like to make to me? I know I've made some suggestions for like good pieces of media. Anything you guys like to see? I am going to be working on that, the one by Arthur Conan Doyle, the thing that fell into the public domain recently. So look forward to that soon. Oh. Maricot Deep is basically, what if the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes wrote an adventure story about going to Atlantis? And it's in the public domain now, this year, so I'm going to be looking into it. I'm excited for the public domain reviews. I'm glad. I want to do them because I thought they'd be interesting. You know, talk about some older stuff, some classics. And specifically classics that should have been in the public domain a long-ass time ago. Ah, damn it. Public domain is fun. Yeah, but like, again, the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, something of his was not in the public domain. Disney, what the ever-loving hell have you done to the public domain? You haven't just like damaged it, you've murdered it. Oh, shit. The fuck, who cares, TDL? Public domain is fun. Yes, I agree. I like the public domain. I just wish more stuff was in it. I've told my parents about this too. They don't seem to get why, like whenever I talk to them about it, they're always like, oh no, they're gonna make, you know, horror stories about murderous Winnie the Pooh, and I'm like, yeah, because it's a really old story. Why the hell should Disney still have, like, sole ownership of it? This is why DJ Disney cares. This is why I hate Disney. It is a very valid reason to hate Disney. I don't even have any caveats to it of they make good stuff on occasion, because this isn't about what they make. It's about the way they, like, hoard it for years and years. Alright, think about it. Most of us will probably either nearly or actually dead by the time Star Wars reaches the public domain. Think about that. There is a good chance that you will be dead before Star Wars enters the public domain. You know, Star Wars, the thing from the 1980s. The mission is failure. Cut the power right now. Woo! Isn't Star Wars technically from the 70s? No, it's from the 80s. Right? I'm nearly positive it's from the 80s. That means it won't be available if it's from the 80s until, what, let's see here, 90 years, so 2070 something. God damn it, I got knocked down. Yeah, the reason they want characters like Rey, you're entirely right. The reason they want characters like Rey to take off is because if Rey became popular, that would be something they could claim as Star Wars and shove it into the popular consciousness, and they would have claims on. It's why they redesign characters sometimes too. Actually, there was a whole thing a while back where they were trying to push these like Disney-fied like cartoons of the original trilogy and prequels. They were like infographics for like kids who didn't actually watch the originals but wanted to know who the characters were and hadn't absorbed it through pop culture osmosis. And I heard someone break it down. It's like they want something that they can own as an animation, not characters whose likeness they might have to license from Mark Hamill or whatever. Because Mark Hamill will be around for a while, or, you know, some of the younger characters might be around for a while. They would rather, like, trademark the image of Rey, not necessarily the actor's appearance. You know, make her a little bit different in the animated stuff, just off enough that they can not to worry about getting sued. It's probably in their contracts, too, let's be honest. Oh shit. God damn it, I keep ruining it. And it's Disney's MO. It's one of the most horrible things they've done to pop culture as a whole. And it's something I don't think I can ever forgive them for. I genuinely don't think I can ever forgive Disney for that. I don't think anyone should forgive them for that, because they've damaged the system so much. You can probably skip that jump pad. Maybe? Playing for a long time. Do you have anything else to do with your time? You must continue your mission. I enjoy the cold. I don't shiver in it. I biked in like, what, -1 degree weather? That's in Celsius, by the way, even though I'm an American. I biked to work in -1 degree weather. This is fine. It's all fine. There we go. I'm perfectly fine with this. Oh look, another Helldiver. Because I need people to, I guess, fill in for this area. Walt would despise people using his name and company. Actually, Walt was a big fan of holding on to it as long as possible. He got really bitter after Oswald. You know the story about that, right? Which is, I find ironic that the whole thing is that a company essentially stole Walt's creation from him and became a proponent of Disney holding on to stuff for as long as possible because it was his company, and his company would hold on to his stuff for as long as he wanted. He was a big proponent for extending copyright laws and making them harsher because he wanted to own his stuff. Because the company he worked for owned Oswald, his first creation. That's what led to the creation of Mickey Mouse, and he swore that no one else would ever take that from him. Nope. But the content is a disgrace to his vision. I feel like people forget that Walt Disney was also a businessman, as much as he was an animator. Don't get me wrong, he had a passion for animation, clearly. But he was also a businessman to an extent, and I'm not sure he would hate it as much as people think. Don't get me wrong, he was definitely about pushing the boundaries of animation, but, I mean, as much as it really pains me to say this, like, a lot, but Disney kind of still does that. When it comes to CGI and motion capture, they're kind of like, why does this game have an inflation power-up? I don't know. I'm worried what the internet thinks of it, though. Because I've heard some things from our other commenters. Oh no, no, I missed that. Like, what? Again, I hate to admit it, but Disney is still one of the cutting edges for traditional animation, or, but Lovecraft would probably hate what people did with the Elder Tour, so what? Yeah. Just because the author hates it doesn't really have a bearing, at least in the modern day, and yeah, Assembly's also right about that. Now, and the sad thing is, Disney still does a lot of cool stuff. It's just that, you know, I still despise them because of all the damage they've done as a whole. Like, for example, do you know they're using Unreal Engine with this, like, gigantic room that's, like, has, you know, a bunch of, essentially, TV screen walls? And what they do is they project stuff using Unreal Engine into the background and then film using it as, like, a live green screen where the stuff is actually there as they're filming. It's really cool, and they shot The Mandalorian with it. And it was powered by Unreal Engine, which is also kind of cool because it proves Disney is still using tools that are readily available to a lot of people. But, like, do I respect them for that? Yeah. Do I also hate them on a legal front for what they've done to the public domain and the fact that they would definitely try it again if the public weren't so dead against it right now? Yes. That isn't storytelling. No, it is. It's just really bad storytelling. I can say they're bad. They're badly retelling the same story over and over again, but, like, look, Disney wasn't even the biggest, like, innovator when it comes to stories to begin with. Most of his original stuff was grim fairy tales, but kidified. I mean, crying out loud, they don't even have the part where Cinderella cut off her toes. Or Cinderella's, not Cinderella, but one of the wicked stepsisters cut off her toes to try and fit into the glass slippers. Come on, keep the horror. If it's good enough for German children, it's good enough for American children. Oh wow, I'm not gonna be the blue one. I am really bad with this power-up. Yeah, I'm leaving this one right now. I'm not good with that power up at all. No, the original Grimm fairy tales are messed up though. Like seriously, you have not watched them. Disney ripped those things to shreds when he translated them into those classics. And they continued. Frozen is sort of an adaptation of the Snow Witch. It takes a lot of the elements from that story, at least, in a way, about as much as the other stories did. Moana was pretty good, actually. I liked Moana. I didn't see Moana 2 because I don't think it needed a sequel, but that's the phase. Disney has always gone through these phases, though. I think a lot of people don't remember that. Or the fact that Aurora wasn't woken up with a kiss in the original. I don't remember Sleeping Beauty's original text, so I'll have to take your word for that. I actually don't remember that one. There are a lot of Grimm fairy tales, and Sleeping Beauty's original was not exactly high on my list. I think I read it once. It's also the magic cow, which is kind of funny for Cinderella. Instead of a magic godmother, she got a magic cow. Okay, I'm really slow. Good God. These last few power-ups are the ones I'm not great with. Yeah. Oh, man. Like, I would absolutely destroy him. Maybe. I have no idea if Disney was that physically fit or not. I actually don't. He looks like a skinny asshole in most of his stuff. Oh my god, look, it's a little dragon! Hey, little dragon. I'm already losing this anyway. Hey, little dragon. Look at him sitting in that nest waiting for his mommy to come back. Adorable. Little green, neon green dragon, too. Remember the neon green, random-ass neon green dragonborn with, like, a completely unique voice assembly from Baldur's Gate? There's, like, a dragonborn you can find that has, like, a unique voice actor, I think, and, like, completely unique dialogue. And he's just, like, neon green out of nowhere. There's no lore significance to it. He's just there. Yeah, I completely lost this one. I don't even see the birds anymore. Oh my god, look at all the little baby dragons! They're so cute! Wow, I can't. Oh my god, I'm terrible. You know what? I'm gonna turn off the motion controls real quick. Can I turn off the motion controls on this? Oh my god. Controller tilt assist. Yes, I'd like to replace it with the left stick. Thank you. Dragons! I know. Basically, while Aurora did still prick herself and put into a magic sleep without the prince found her, and then put a baby in her without her consent while she slept, and gave birth while she slept. Wow, that makes some of Zeus's exploits sound less creepy by comparison. Oh, hot, 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 hot. The baby then suckled on her thumb and removed the spit. What the actual hell? What the? I know the German versions were weird, but sometimes I'm just like, I still don't understand how that got to, like, final version. Then again, these were just, like, folktales a guy recorded down. So, you know, maybe that explains a bit more, I guess. Still, though, old fairy tales were like crazy, man. I was just saying, this is very uncomfortable. Using this power up. There's a bit of like force behind him, so I had to actually put some effort in behind the R1, R2 motions. Ow! Frickin'! Popped right up into the lava. Not even dying by falling damage, I'm dying by lava. Murder. Little Mermaid certainly don't have it. Yeah, she committed suicide. And her blood became the red in the setting sun. I know that one. Oh shit. God damn it, got stuck. Oh no, no, no! Ah, I keep getting stuck on those things. God damn it. I tried to release the left one, it doesn't do it properly. Murder. Alright, come on. There was one where the prince gets murdered and his blood at her feet makes her fish growing tail. Alright, alright. Got it! Oh man. Nursery rhymes aren't messing around, I know, right? Oh, I love it. I'm surrounded by dragons. Look at it. I am happy. I'm happy. This is a good thing. I'm surrounded by cheering dragons, as I should be. Why the hell is Albert Wesker here? I guess boulder punching? I guess he got boulder punch. The Jesse got an Albert Wesker. I guess Chris was looking for more boulders, and Albert Wesker thought he'd be safe here. Top of a mountain. Robo Dragons. Robo Dragons are awesome. Look, they give out fireworks. I'm partying. You know what? I'm taking a screenshot of this. Several screenshots, actually, a bunch. There we go. Bye, guys. Have fun. Oh, man. Alright, I think this is gonna be about it. I hate Helium Heights. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that one. I refuse. Make this a GIF. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Yeah, I can record the last few minutes of playback. Actually, I'm gonna make that a GIF. You're right. You're entirely right. I'm gonna grab the last 3 minutes. So I grabbed the last 3 minutes. I'll have to make that GIF and post that in chat. So I'll try. Bloodborne me partying while dragons give fireworks. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. I actually might have something next time. If not, we might play something in between, because one of the games I'm thinking about doing next is a game called Tales of Iron Whiskers of Winter. But it's not coming out till January 28th. So if you have any suggestions of like a short game you want me to play in the meantime, let me know. And I guess I will see you guys on Tuesday, where we'll have something new. Bye.